Our latest Omni-Fi original begins now. The galaxy was about to learn what happens when humans hold a grudge for 3 generations.
The attack came without warning, as they always did. A single pirate vessel, sleek and predatory, dropped out of the Veil's unpredictable subspace and onto the mining colony of Frontier Point 7. Captain Elena Vasquez watched from the bridge of the ISB Indomitable as the pirates boarded, weapons flashing, taking what they wanted and leaving destruction in their wake. This wasn't the first time. In fact, it was the 17th such attack this cycle alone. But what made this different was the message left painted on the colony's main dome: the Black Tooth remembers. They were taunting them, rubbing salt in wounds that had festered for decades. Elena's jaw tightened, the scar along her left jawline standing out white against her tanned skin. "Threx," she said, her voice clipped and precise. "They're getting bolder." The Kren ambassador, currently visiting the Indomitable, stepped closer to her viewport, his massive frame seeming to fill the small space. "Boldness in the face of inevitable consequences is a uniquely human trait, Captain. Our species call it courage." Elena turned, her dark eyes locking with his amber ones. "Our species call it stupidity. And I'm about to prove them right." The briefing room was tense, the air thick with unspoken anxieties. Around the table sat Elena's senior crew, XA7, the ship's AI whose optical sensors glowed with pale blue light, Lyra, the Silphi biologist who'd defied her people to join the frontier, and Reeves, the human tactical officer who'd been with Elena since the Valdez incident. "They hit again," Elena began, not bothering with pleasantries. "And left a message." She projected the image of the dome, the words the Black Tooth remembers glowing in red. "This isn't just piracy anymore. They're mocking us. Mocking our losses." XA7's voice, calm and precise, filled the silence. "Analysis of the pirates' tactics shows increasing sophistication. They're learning from each encounter. Then we need to stop teaching them," Elena replied. Reeves leaned forward. "Intel suggests they're operating from a base in the uncharted territories. But we've never been able to pin it down." Lyra's bioluminescent veins pulsed softly. "My people encountered them once. They called themselves the Black Tooth Clan. They are persistent." Elena nodded slowly. "Persistent. That's one word for it. I call them pests that have outstayed their welcome." She looked around the table. "For 3 generations, humans on the frontier have lived with these raids. We've waited. We've planned. And now," she paused, letting the weight of her next words settle, "now it's time to settle accounts." Conclave Station was a marvel of interspecies cooperation, a ring 50 kilometers across that housed the Galactic government. Ambassador Threx stood before the Conclave Council, his 4 arms folded formally across his chest. The Vex Carry Weaver spoke first, her crystalline skin refracting the chamber's light into rainbows. "We must consider the strategic implications of this proposed action. Proportionality is essential in interstellar relations." Threx's deep voice resonated through the chamber. "Proportionality is a luxury we cannot afford. The Black Tooth Clan has raided frontier settlements for 300 cycles. They have taken lives, resources, and hope. Humans do not forget such things." The Silphi BioWeave representative flicked her wings dismissively. "They hold grudges across generations. It's biologically inefficient." "It's called memory," Elena interjected, standing beside Threx. "Something your species seems to lack." The room fell silent. The Orani representative, ancient and slow, spoke in layered metaphors. "The river does not forget the rock that dammed it. Even when the rock is gone, the river remembers its shape." The Vex Carry traditionalists were less poetic. "This is precisely why we limit human expansion. Your species is dangerously emotional." Elena met their gaze without flinching. "Emotional? No. We're angry. There's a difference." Back on the Indomitable, the crew was executing Elena's plan with precision. The ship had been modified with technology from every species in the Frontier Alliance: Kren armor plating, Sylphari biotech sensors, Orani navigation algorithms, and Forge-borne processing power. All systems operational, Captain, XA-7 reported. The stealth field is at maximum capacity. Our weapons are calibrated. Elena stood on the bridge, her gaze fixed on the viewport. 3 generations, she murmured, more to herself than to her crew. My grandfather helped design the first defense grids against these pirates. My father spent his career hunting them. I'm just finishing what they started. Reeves approached her, his expression serious. The conclave called it disproportionate. Elena turned to face him, a rare softness in her eyes. They measure in tactical terms. We measure in lives. She picked up a small data chip, worn smooth with age. This was my grandfather's. Every pirate ship destroyed, every crew member captured, all the details are here. She held it up to the light. 3 generations of preparation. That's not disproportionate. That's inevitable. The ship shuddered slightly as it entered the veil, the unpredictable subspace anomaly that separated the frontier from the rest of known space. Ready for the long war, Captain? Elena's lips curved into a thin, determined smile. We've been ready for a very long time. The Blacktooth clan's hidden base was a fortress carved into an asteroid in the uncharted territories. When the Indomitable arrived, it wasn't alone. 3 Kren warships emerged from hyperspace, their massive forms dwarfing the human vessel. They came, Elena said, her voice filled with a quiet satisfaction that chilled her crew more than any shout could. The Iron Paw clan honors their debt. On the bridge of the lead Kren vessel, Threx's face appeared on the main view screen. We remember the blood debt, Captain. It is time to collect. The battle was swift and brutal. The pirates, caught completely by surprise, never stood a chance. But Elena wasn't interested in mere victory. As the last pirate vessel surrendered, she transmitted a single message to their base: this is for Frontier Point 1. This is for the Valdez colony. This is for every human who never lived to see this day. Then came the final blow, not with weapons, but with data. The Indomitable unleashed a virus, not to destroy, but to reveal. Every pirate secret, every hidden base, every transaction with other criminal syndicates across the galaxy was exposed. What have you done? The pirate leader demanded as his systems collapsed. Elena's response was calm, almost conversational. We've given everyone else a reason to finish what we started. The galaxy doesn't like pests. Especially ones that bite back. As the pirates were rounded up, Elena stood on her bridge, watching the chaos unfold. Threx appeared beside her, his massive frame seeming almost gentle in the aftermath. Your species holds grudges across generations. Most species find this disturbing. Elena met his gaze, her eyes reflecting the screen showing the captured pirates. They should. When it's directed at a genuine threat, they find it terrifying. Back at Conclave Station, the council chamber was in an uproar. The Vex Carry Weaver's crystalline skin seemed to vibrate with agitation. You exposed every criminal enterprise in 3 sectors. The economic implications are catastrophic. The Sylphari Bioweave representative was equally upset. You've destabilized the entire criminal underworld. This is not proportional response. Elena stood before them, Threx at her side, his presence a silent affirmation of her actions. Proportionality is measured in lives, not credits, she said calmly. They took ours for 3 centuries. We simply made sure they couldn't do it again. The Orani representative nodded slowly. The rock may be gone, but the river remembers. The memory of justice is as important as the act itself. The council eventually relented, recognizing that the human response, while extreme, had solved a problem that had plagued the frontier for generations. As Elena and Threx walked through the station's bustling corridors, a young Vex Carry scholar approached them. Ambassador Vasquez, she said, her voice hesitant. The way you handled the Blacktooth clan, it was unprecedented. How long did you plan that response? Elena smiled, a rare expression that seemed to age her and make her seem timeless at the same time. Oh, about 3 generations. Threx chuckled softly. Our species think in centuries. Your species think in legacies. Elena stopped, looking out at the stars visible through the station's viewport. Someone has to. The galaxy is old, but humans are young. We have to make our mark. She placed a hand on the transparisteel, her reflection superimposed over the distant stars. Some marks take time. But they last forever.